Okay, would like not to get turned to stone, if possible, but probably would be fine, all things considered. Not too shabby. And there's our first Hydra. You knew it had to be coming eventually here. Freezing Cloud is at 14% fail. If I could get that just a tidbit closer to being castable, then I'd very much be interested in doing so. So for the time being, let's try to just ignore the Hydra if we can. Does that do it? No, still 14. Promise we won't do it after every single thing that we fight here. But you know what? I think I'm going to come back to you, if that's alright, Hydra. This, however, might be a fun little initial test. Throw that bad boy down there real quick. And we can definitely take these two upstairs. Not too shabby. Okie dokie. Let's maybe try a different stairwell just so we're not running straight into that spiny frog. Every little bit helps. Another heal wounds. Very much it helps. And then we'll let the blink frogs just be the artifacts of their own demise here. Just make sure to keep frozen ramparts up, and it's as simple as that. Not too shabby here. We get alchemy and elements. Now there we go. That right there is a curse, Ashinzari. That is beautiful. Transmutations is definitely going to be helpful into late game. All the elements, incredible. So let's throw this. Do we want it on our ring mail or our gloves? I mean, the ring mail is just so good. I guess it will fall off a bit, potentially. Or I guess both gloves and armor get merged into something like statue form. So it doesn't actually matter too much what we put this on. Be nice if we had another ring that wasn't just protection from fire. Probably not quite good enough. But I guess we can use this to just get enough of an advantage for now to survive until the late game when we may or may not get something like statue form. So let's put it on our ring mail. So we get astral sight. That can always be a handy little tool. And oh, Catoclubus got a little bit stuck apparently. It's okay, navigation is hard sometimes, buddy. That's fair enough. I don't want to come around that way though, because we'll be right next to them. Prefer to have just a wee bit of distance so we can potentially throw out some early freezing clouds. Let's try that again. Perfect. And that should just about do the trick, actually. Fantastic. Absolutely incredible spell. You know, it's been too long since we had a good freezing cloud run, so I'm very excited to watch its magic at play, because it is one of those exceptionally strong spells. Especially handy if we're able to get a lot of cold resistance. We can also use it in fun utility ways just to ensure that we don't have really bad enemy clouds dropped on right on top of us. So definitely a lot to like for sure. Not too shabby here. Will you stop blinking, friend? Normally I like to let you all just murder yourselves on my frozen ramparts, but even I can have my my patience tested if it's brought out to that degree. Definitely Ozokubus, and with 21 AC we actually should be okay to kill off a Hydra, and that's a good little tester to make sure that we can probably go back up to the earlier floor and finish off the Hydra we left behind. Everything's looking pretty good at this stage in the game. Freezing Cloud and Gale's Gravitas can be fun. Ooh, haven't thought about that before. I was a little bit underwhelmed the last time I tried using Gale's Gravitas for sure, just because it didn't seem to be quite as effective as I wanted it to be. But even if they're moving, I think largely, to further elaborate on that thought, I think it was largely because I'd pull them and then they just step right back in. So it felt like I wasn't doing anything sometimes, but I guess if you're pulling them into a cloud of frothing cold energy, then they're definitely at the very least taking that damage, so that seems pretty fun. Something to think about at the very least, but something else we very much would like to think about is trying to kill this Hydra. Let's throw 1 down, 2 down, and just rinse and repeat, and you'll pretty much die, or completely die, just making your way over to us. Fantastic stuff. I should almost definitely throw Freezing Cloud onto one of my little macro keys here, make it a little bit easier to throw out there in our times of need. And in fact, I think we will do so. Let us change that and summon Ice Beast, and that should work out nicely. Not too shabby here. So we continue just blasting our way through Lair for the most part here. I mean, to be expected with this kind of a character. Again, Ice Elementalists very much thrive in Lair in particular. Ring of Positive Energy, let's drop Amulet of Faith. Probably have some other stuff we want to drop here. In fact, let's do a quick clean out, shall we? Spear can go. Stones can probably go by this stage. Definitely the random bits and bobs that we've just kept lying around in our inventory for no real reason whatsoever. Perfect. And a bunch of Dream Sheep, hey? Oopsie daisies. Already forgot that I changed over that macro key. My bad. But hey, at least we can kill the majority of these Dream Sheep as they approach. And that is something to be very happy about. Let's make your life decisions a bit easier by just throwing more Freezing Clouds your way. Perfect. Now it's just for us to lose the run, at least at this stage. There's no saying what the future may hold. Things might get real rough, but for the time being, we're in a pretty nice spot. So hopefully we can leverage that into a successful future. Getting IMB is actually pretty fantastic here. Could just train some translocations and get that castable, even with just our 4 in conjurations at the moment. It's a nice blend of damage and utility. It's largely useful for that utility, shoving people off of you. In fact, it gives us a similar effect to what Eglu was mentioning with the Freezing Cloud and Gravitas, because in this sense, we can just have the Freezing Cloud behind them, keep just shoving them off into it. So that seems pretty fantastic. I think I will learn that. Right now we're just training shields, it looks like. So we can keep that in the background, and let's train translocations up to a nice 8 or so, and we'll see where that leaves us. See where we're sitting once that pops off. We get range combat and companions. I don't think so, Ashinzari. Ooh, we get Stormform. Stormform Manifold Assault is potentially in the books now, if we so desire. It's interesting at the very least. I will drop this on us. Whoopsie daisies, but not the end of the world. Throw some more of this down. As I accidentally fail summon Ice Beast, so we failed at 2%. How about that? But it's not what I meant to cast anyway, so it all kind of works out. Now, hallway here, I should be able to take these buddies with my Frozen Ramparts supporting us. Perfect. And that is Lair 4 done and dusted. Going pretty well so far. I'm happy to do at least one more. Wave of Frost. Oof. Do I dare? I guess I have Ice Form, so we can get cold resistance. That's not the issue at hand, which is a pleasant surprise from our usual case. But will I be able to kill things? That's a bit rougher. IMB isn't quite where we want it yet. It's on its way, but it has a little bit of a ways to go, unfortunately. I think we will be trying it out. Oh my gosh, is I accidentally... Wait, why is it... Okay, I was pressing 2 and it kept telling me that I was going to break my armor if I move. And in my head, I was like, I'm not moving. But I was probably in some kind of context menu there. My bad. Let us quickly take care of these sons of guns. And then I think we will head for the melting archway. Because it might get us some nice sources of cold resistance, which is one of the few things we're missing at the moment. It's not the end of the world. Go for it, Ice Beast can kill it, right? I think you are correct, Phil. Also, nice to see new faces around. Welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic long weekend, if it is one for you. If not, I hope you're just having a great Monday. Or I guess regardless, I hope you're having a great Monday. But let's try it out, shall we? Okay, I will first take care of all these bad boys, I guess. And let us give it a shot. Ooh, this might actually be the good one that's full of bears and yaks, which we can completely, well and truly deal with, so that should be okay. Nope. Never mind, it's simulacrum. You're on a permanent long weekend currently while off work? Sounds lovely. Let's take our new troll friend around the corner here. We'll go ice form. We'll bring in Nice Beast. We'll try and tag team this as much as we possibly can here. Ooh, just getting one of these simulacrums at a time will definitely help out in that regard. Once more, let's bring you into the breach and make sure that we're staying in ice form, which is on E. Not too shabby. I guess for now, what we could do is put ice form on our capital M so that we have at least a bit of an easier macro at hand here. Because again, if there's anything I can do to embrace my laziness, I definitely don't mind trying to make it work here. Ooh, fail ice form, but that's fine. We get it the second time. Oh, and we go down to ice pause. Right. So we actually lose our weapon as well with this and something like dragon form. Well, very least we still have wonderful cold resistance. And it seems like we're doing okay for the time being. Killing off these bad boys. Oh, geez. So let's see. You deal 16 and up to 24 extra cold damage. It's less than ideal. Go back to ice form. I should be casting Kubu's armor as well to make sure that we're in a decent spot here. What are you? A two-headed ogre? That is gonna hurt real bad. Even with full cold resistance, that, my friend, is gonna be a pain. Have we gotten any digging one yet? It's been a few years since you played DCSS. We do have some digging wand charges, if that's what you're mentioning there, so that's not too bad. In fact, can you dig through ice walls? It can be dug through, so we could just sneak our way into the back area and try and scoop the loot, as it were. Might be good, because if even an ice devil is giving us trouble, then I almost don't want to know how bad it's going to get moving forward here. Could at least heal for now. And what else? 10 of Tremor Stones isn't terrible. You have decent AC, but the rest of you do not. You know, let's do it. It probably kills my Ice Beast, but that's not the end of the world. At least we get some good damage in, and then we can try and just blast this buddy real quick. It's not too shabby. Do I want to try and sneak around? Becomes the next question. I think I'd rather just kind of make our way through and see how it goes. Oh geez, this is going to be an annoying fight. Ooh, and one Ice Devil came out of the mix as well, so definitely would like to not have to deal with them. So what can I do? I can definitely go back into Kubu's armor mode at the very least. And then in this situation, we have Mystic Blast. To deal a bit more damage, it'd be better if I was actually knocking the Ice Beast off of us, potentially, I guess. That's always a slightly better use case, but we should be okay, especially with our Ice Beast friend to take them out. Not too shabby. Now, do I try and fight ice statues again? It was not going well, to say the least. Alright, our astral sight from Ash. Thank you, Ash and Zari. Appreciate it. What do we do with you? We could use IMB, I guess. Not terrible. Have our own Ice Beast in the mix as well. Right, we definitely need to be in ice form, otherwise this cold is gonna hurt really badly. And we're kind of getting there. I don't think we're dealing enough damage. I need to take it out. But I don't want to take any extra risks here unless we absolutely have to. Could acid wand you, I guess? Try and hope that that's enough damage. Maybe I'll just dig through the area here. Yeah, it's really blasting near my Ice Beast. I'm not too worried about it. Basically just wasting time. Either we'll kill the summons or they'll run out of time and disappear. Either way it works out for me. And looks like we will just dig out because I don't really want to deal with them. It's more of an annoyance than anything else because they're not a huge threat. We can always just walk away. Who cares? But not great. Tori, do you remember there's an ice statue there? Yeah, Ash probably. See, it seems like obvious knowledge that might not be necessary for them to be sharing, but I appreciate it because I am real dumb sometimes. So anything that alleviates my own stupidity in any minor way is pretty huge. Oh, geez. Going a little bit rougher against these buddies, but a quick acid wand helps out at the very least. There's another two-headed simulacrum there, which is terrifying. Rest of them, I can deal with, but that son of a gun was a bit much for me. Okie dokie. If I could get you to head this way, or not, that's cool too. Maybe I should be using this flame wand a little bit more, you know? These buddies are susceptible to fire, actually. Oh, wow. What are we dealing right now? 2d8? It's not bad, 76% chance to hit. Should also bring my own Ice Beast into the equation, most likely. Then we can kind of just throw ice wand or fire wand charges at our problem till it goes away. It's not too shabby. Make sure that we shoot past this way so that at least if we're missing, we're doing something with our lives. Oof. When you played DCSS, your favorite run was Noctipode Wizard, going with Gozag, because you like paint or something. Hey, no, I think I 100% agree with that setup. I absolutely adore Octopodes in general, and Gozag on top of that is a lot of fun. Oh, jeez. Entropy Weaver. Why you gotta be like this? The fact that they hit 4 times makes this, again, one of the worst kind of simulacrums you can come up against. Fortunately, we got good rolls and they didn't deal a lot of damage, but that very much could have been a heck of a lot worse. Oh, we can't fear them. They do not feel fear, unfortunately. Tree form gets rid of our cold resistance, so that's bad. Shoot. If only I had hasted in advance or something like that. You deal 39 damage to you. Shoot, shoot, shoot. 66% chance to hit me. Is it fast as a simulacrum? It is, I believe, because otherwise I don't know how it got the hit there. It might have random energied, actually, it looks like. Because I don't believe I'm slow while in ice form. That could be incorrect. But that's actually interesting. Why was that so terrible? But okie dokie. Let's sit and think for just a moment here. Classic hands off the keyboard, just to make sure I don't do anything stupid in my haste. And what else can we do here? We have a decent amount of heal wounds. Haste. We might die drinking a haste is the unfortunate side of that, but I'm very tempted, or that was my first kind of temptation. So what am I missing here? If I go in here, and I look at this description, vulnerable to fire. Okay, it doesn't look like this slows us down. I didn't think so. But why did you hit me? Was it just random energy? Okay, it looks like it was. But now that we have a gap here, I'm gonna drink haste. We're gonna try and kite this son of a gun. Just a wee bit here. It is terrifying. Something with Fire Wand. Unfortunately, we've used up all of our Fire Wand charges, but it's definitely not bad. Go Gadget, Ice Beast. You can do it. We're in a slightly better position, like something like this, for example. We can also use IMB, which is a good opportunity. Terrifying. Terrifying. So maybe didn't need the haste. That might have been a little bit much, but I'm still not super unhappy about it. 40 damage plus your Scythe Freezing. Oh, what an interesting Ice Caves this has been. Definitely better than dying. I can wholeheartedly agree with you there. Heartedly, rather. But okay, with this son of a gun, pretty high AC. Speaking of being super unhappy about things, a Reaper. Ooh, Well, we can try and use IMB. At least it's not quite as necessary for us to be in ice form in this fight. They have a freezing brand, but that's about it. You are resistant to cold, but just resistant. So you're saying there's potentially hope for us there as well. Dang, Mystic Blast is still a ways off from being as castable as I'd like. Maybe bring translocations up to 10. I should just force through a little bit more Conjurations training. In fact, if we take a look, this is 7.1 cost versus 5. So we could definitely pop this bad boy up. In fact, if we just bring it up to 5, that shouldn't be too bad. Let's get a summon out there. Didn't think it was going to be exceptionally effective, but hope to do something at least. Can I fight a Reaper? There's a shot with IMB. Potentially a mixture of IMB and Freezing Cloud to just keep them off of my back. Only have 14 health at the moment, so it's a little bit rough. Wait a second. Why is the Freezing Cloud radius huge? Huh. Oh, I see. You're wearing a robe of cold resistance and wearing a ring of protection from cold. So you're actually full 3 pips of cold resistance. That's not very good for us. It's 9 squares they'll spread to fill. Oh. I didn't actually know that that's how Freezing Cloud worked. I've used this spell a lot, and yet it still surprises me. Thank you, Stelphon, for clearing that up. Okay, we can do acid to reduce your AC at least. Tin of Tremor Stones now might do some damage against you, though not a heck of a lot. Only one more acid charge, unfortunately. Then what other recourse do we even have? Unfortunately, not a heck of a lot. Is there any chance? 25% chance with Mind Burst. I do really want the cold resistance ring off this son of a gun, though, so if we can kill them, it is, by and large, worth it. Let's throw one more of these out there, and maybe we'll try a chess piece and see what we get. We slow the Reaper. That is actually pretty fantastic to start. Then, we could just might up. Go for it face to face. You wonder if the resources put into survive in this are likely to be made up by the prize? I hope so, right? Even just getting this cold resistance ring helps round off, you know, not having to use ice form every time we see an ice enemy is huge for keeping the rest of our resistances around. That's a good point too, Theo. Making sure that we get the XP is also a pretty huge bonus, to say the least. Do we dare throwing more Zom's chess piece at the problem? Because if we could paralyze you, then it's easy clap. If we haste or might you, then I regret my decisions in life. It was 40 plus this scythe, right? Oof. Welp, let's put on our positive energy. And we should be able to do this. Gonna drink might, because why not? Get you to step up to me. Ozukubu's armor. Oof. Kinda hurt. 74% chance to hit is good. That's a lot of damage. So they just hit us and they're slowed, which means I think we could actually get one step away, right? That was a much bigger hit than I expected. That's max roll from them, minimum roll for me, I'm pretty sure. Oof. I guess Scythe is a bad weapon, specifically for that freezing brand. Definitely hurts like a truck. So, do I step away, hoping that they're slow enough that that doesn't cause me any issues? Or I could try an IMB blast for similar reasoning, where hopefully, again, they're not getting the turn to attack. And then we're outputting damage and potentially getting that space. Yeah, mobs can swing sides at 1.0, unfortunately so. But again, at least this buddy is slowed, so that's something. Don't know how much longer that slow is going to last. Potentially plays a role in this. Oof, friend. Oof. Hopefully it's a very scary word right now. Indeed it is. If it doesn't work, we're definitely dead. Not gonna mince words about it here. Let's see what other options we have. If we do a throwing net, 65% chance to hit you. Not great. Not great. What else can we do here? For our scrolls, this is what we have available to us. No blinking, unfortunately, if we wanted to be well and truly safe. 13% chance we fail IMB, which would then mean that we're dead. So actually, I'm kind of leaning away from that and back towards the idea of just stepping away. And they shouldn't be able to take another swing immediately. Well, no time like the present, eh? I think we will just step back. They shouldn't get a swing, and if they do, then hey, it is what it is. Would step, teleport, step, wounds be an option? So yeah, as long as I can get one step, we should be able to walk away while they're slowed. Nope. They get an attack. Why did they get an attack with slow? They don't attack faster than 1.0, right? Yeah, they can attack from afar, but I thought that they wouldn't get a second attack at all in the turn. I thought that it would give us like 1.0. It's 1.5, isn't it, Thelfun, for the slow? I believe. Could be wrong with that, though. Regardless, that's my bad. Oh, geez. We're having a rough day today. First Steven, then Viago. Not exactly ideal. This time, very much deserved. I should have just kept my distance, not gone in for the might kill. Anything around that? So yeah, unfortunate. But hey, that's all part of the game. And again, there were better ways for me to try and handle this. I didn't expect the hit to do quite that much damage, unfortunately. And we even almost survived that second one, so that's a bit more what we were hoping. It's 1.5, then it's 50-50 whether they do a turn. And unfortunately, this coin flip came up death. But hey, that's all good. We'll just hop right back into another one. Gives us some more fun times with vampires at the very least, and we can get through a few more of our names. Maybe we'll swap up the background this time around. Could try and have some fun with it. Definitely let me know if there's anything people would like to see. You wonder if they double hit me before? They shouldn't have been able to. Oh, I guess my attack delay with short blades was also over one turn, hey? So that was probably my first mistake. Have we done a necromancer? We have not done a necromancer at all. How does bloodless mode work? So when you're bloodless, let's see if I can remember all the little bits. You get 2 pips of cold resistance. You get, I think, full negative resistance. You definitely get poison resistance, but you have, is it minus 10% health? It might be worse than that. It might be minus 20% health. So it's a bit of a balance, an interesting balance to hold. Bloodless Necromancer. You know what? Let's try it out. Let's do something a little bit different here, shall we? And for this one, we can be... Let's try Lestat. We'll switch off of the what we do in the shadows references for the moment. See if it brings us some luck. And we'll give it a shot. And we're going full bloodless, just for funsies. So often people don't use bloodless at all. Oh right, that's one thing I did forget. You also lose your ability to regenerate when next to any enemies. Notice me? Notice me? No? There we go. Didn't want to have to fight both of you in case this goes poorly. That is not too shabby here. So yeah, if we take a look, we have poison immunity. We also get a bonus to stealth, I believe, so that's pretty sick. Except when you're trying to get a cobra to notice you from the corner of their eye, but hey, seem to be doing just fine. And our little hobby friend here, if we can just replenish our mana, shouldn't be too much of a problem, and I should take this spear while we're at it. That's a nice starting weapon for us here. The new Necro spells rework in Trunk's pretty nice. I watched a little bit of Ninth playing it, and I really enjoyed a lot of those changes for sure. It looked like a lot of fun. Specifically the starting spell, how it gives you, oh geez. Yeah, in for rough start. Potion of Flight. Hooray. Well, Scroll of ID, and then they miss. Sure, I'll take it. Like a ghoul, that no regen when visible is really a significant debuff. You think it adds up? Oh, definitely. It's one of those really subtle things. It's similar to why I actually think that the regeneration amulet is the best, like, flat magical amulet in the game. It's super subtle just how much it impacts you, especially over the course of a really extended fight, which is often the case as you're drawing more and more attention to yourself. Okay, so yes, our May Bloodless is just as bad, or is just that bad. It is for the early game for sure. In fact, let's just try and kill them real quick. It can be really nice way later down the road, for sure, but unfortunately it doesn't do a heck of a lot for you early on. But hey, it was worth the try. I thought it was a fun idea, especially since so often I've heard people complain that they never go bloodless on a vampire, so it was interesting to at least attempt to go for a pure bloodless run, throw everything in the face of convention. But we can try Necromancer one more time, even though I'm not a huge Necromancy boy myself, and we're gonna go back to what we do in the shadows, and we're gonna be Vladislav Van Helsing. But we won't be bloodless this time, at least not as a guaranteed thing, and we'll see how it goes. You can shift in and out of bloodless, yeah. It takes around 6 turns. Is it 6 aughts or 60 aughts? I think it's 60. I think it's 6 full turns potentially. Because I know it's not generally something you want to be doing mid-combat whatsoever. And the only downside there is that when you're transforming back into alive status, you get a drain effect. So if you do it too often, switching back and forth, you're gonna definitely run into some issues. But every once in a while, it's not a huge deal. Especially since generally my favorite use for going bloodless is to deal with like a specific branch of the dungeon or something like that, where you desperately need poison resistance or you really want that cold resistance. We could have even gone bloodless for the ice caves on that last character, 2 characters ago, I guess now, and it might have worked out decently well for us, but the lack of health would have been real rough. Oh my gosh, this dart slug absolutely wrecking us. Look at our fashion choices, we're such an edgelord. Indeed, yeah, we're living up to the vampire motif, for sure. Let's just walk away from this, buddy. Thankfully, attacks of opportunity aren't a thing, or else this would have been another early finish to run. In fact, I didn't even do any of my skills or anything on either of these characters. Turns out I didn't have very much faith in Lestat. That's where I started off. Also, unfortunately, sorry if anybody desperately wanted to play through the seed that Lestat just died on, but it's gone to the wind now. But let us not hit the wrong button over and over again, and instead remember this time around to quickly grab the seed, and we will paste that up on the screen here. Perfect. Just in case you want to join along for the ride on your own and see how well you can navigate the same dungeons. It's always a lot of fun to hear people's experiences, as long as you don't get too far ahead of me, and try not to spoil stuff if you do. Because I guess, yeah, it's not inherently bad if people get ahead of me. That's totally fine. Just don't let me know if something truly terrifying comes later, because I want to feel the pain and misery when all my hard work goes to waste. Call me a masochist, but I think at the end of the day, it's all part of the game. Okie dokie. See how we do here. Pain actually has a bigger range than I thought. I keep using it like freeze. You can tell that I've gotten a little bit used to the Ice Elementalist start. But what else do we want to do here? Vampiric Draining could be nice. Get a little bit of a minor heal going, and then it's really wonderful kind of the spells we got down here. Conjurations is rough. Working against that -3 aptitude all the way to Orb Destruction is maybe pushing it a little bit. Fireball's not that much better, so now that I've actually given this some thought, maybe ignore everything that I'm saying, and let's instead go with Vampiric Draining. And we can hope for some better suited spells to come up in the near future. If not, it's not the end of the world, and we can always make do with anything and everything we've got. But there we go. Finally remembering that we do in fact have some range capabilities. That should make things a wee bit more straightforward to deal with. Hey Railbird, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic long weekend and a lovely Monday. It's always great to see you around, so thank you so much. And that is an amulet for sure. Regen MP is not exactly necessary. I'd rather have just regen on there, but resist electricity and int +2 is just fine and dandy for the early part of the run here. So let's give that a shot, shall we? Perfect. I should just use my quick quivered key. There we go. That's much nicer. Saves me a button press, which definitely goes a long way. For you kids, do I want to do vampiric draining? Failed at 4%. That's not exactly ideal. So I guess we're not able to do it again. We do have regen on, so that's kind of nice. You know what, let's try and stab you a couple times. See where that leaves us. As soon as we get a little bit more hurt, this is where I was going to whip out the vampiric draining once more with feeling. And let's give it a shot. Perfect. Definitely not too shabby. And turns out, me snubbing that regen MP was the dumbest thing I've done, because it very much was the savior in that situation in particular. So that works out nicely. Yes, in the early game it all works out. Rampage on a summoner? Is there any other way? Rampage with me in general is an interesting predicament, to say the least, because I am almost guaranteed to run into some problems. What is with this D2? Holy moly. Okay, so fire resistance and regen. Strength +4 will mean slightly better armor that we can put on. See invisible doesn't matter at all for a vampire, since we already have that innately. But that's pretty sick. What do I want for the moment here? I feel like the regen is going to pay dividends a little bit further down the road. For the time being, while we only have 8 max mana, it might actually make a decent amount of sense to keep with what we've got going here. Let's bring Necromancy up to just like... Do I really want to cap it at 6? Does that make sense? Got a bunch of summoning spells with that last book, so we could pivot. And that's exactly what I was thinking, Theo. Or actually the other way around. I was thinking MP regen for now and then use the real regen later. I think that there's an argument to be made for both ways. If I gave it a bit more thought, I could probably come up with what I believe to be the best, or what fits best with my playstyle. But as is, I'm not too worried about it. But animate dead reanimates all corpse and skeleton in the vicinity. I don't hate it. Could give it a shot, in which case we'd want to train just a little bit more necromancy. I'm not a huge fan of necromancy in this version of the game, but can try and do something with it. Faded altar. I wouldn't be so sure about that, Theo. I am a big dum-dum a lot of the time, so sometimes I feel like I don't know myself as well as I should. But should be fine. I think we might go back up to that faded altar. I'm gonna try and find this sewer. It's still very distant, so I'm gonna keep heading to the opposite corner from where we started here. Don't like that pole arm. Otherwise, this isn't a terrible fight. How much damage does Vampiric Drain do? 2d7 is actually pretty solid. That's pretty likely for a one-shot. So let's do it, and not too shabby. And now we're just at distant drains, so we're getting closer for sure. Maybe that snake came from it. Or maybe not. Let's check down here first, and if we get a further message, then we... Never mind, there it is. Perfect. Let's start with Pain and then go to Vampiric Draining as they get in range. Perfect. Hello, kids. Goodbye. And there we go. Let's head in, shall we? What happens if you're a Necromancer of the Shine One of Trogger Sign? Doesn't that end your run? So yeah, we can't get the Shining One because we're a vampire. So fortunately, Faded Altars do a good job there. Trog definitely throw a bit of a wrench into our current game plan, but wouldn't be the end of the world. At least Berserkers are relatively strong. Or at the very least straightforward, I guess. But we would never get Trog, right? Not us. Okay, I don't like all the poison come my way. There we go. Now we can get some heals back. That's much better. Hopefully that's the worst enemy we'll come across. It should be. Would hope there aren't multiple kobold brigands down here in the sewers, but you never know what the wash might bring in. Hello, yet another kobold brigand. Just talking about you. There we go. That one went a bit more smoothly. Double berserk, Trog and amulet. Why the heck not? Rampaging all over the dungeon. But okie dokie, that should be just about it. Actually, this sewer is bigger than I expected. How about that? Not too shabby. And in fact, yeah, again being proven the fool. So we get another kobold brigand yet again. But fortunately, the worm should be slow enough that even with us getting in the water, should be okay. And regen MP coming in clutch there for sure. Kind of hate this. Probably what I should be doing against the brigands is actually popping around the corner and making them come to us, because that way I can at least use the vampiric draining instead. Potentially be a wee bit more consistent, but hey, we'll end up all right here. Make sure I'm not leaving anything on the floor. There's a hand crossbow. Now, just in case, I'm going to pick that bad boy up. Not super interested at the moment, but hey, maybe if we get Trog from a faded altar, that will change my tune real quick, right? So we can give it a good old college try here.